Trust has always felt dangerous. A loaded gun. One wrong move and you're bleeding. I've been betrayed by people that I believed in. Lied to by people I would have died for. So I learned to keep my guard up and my heart closed. But here's the twist. The wall I built to protect me, it also kept the healing out. Some things were easy to drop, the obvious ones, the excuses, the finger pointing, the lies I told others. But the lies I told myself, the coping mechanisms wrapped in pride and pain, those I clung to. There are patterns that I hate, but I still reach for when I'm afraid. There are habits that hurt me, but I keep feeding them because they feel safe, familiar, predictable. Even when I know they're killing me, I hesitate. Because surrender feels like losing, like dying. But maybe what's dying is just the part of me that's tired of suffering. I've watched my anger ruin closeness. My pride silence apologies, my fear disguise itself as control, and every time I hold on to that, I'm choosing pain over possibility. So here's where I stand now. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not pretending I'm fearless, but I am deciding to let go. To release what's no longer serving me, to trust not in perfection but in process, and a power greater than me that knows how to carry what I can't. Because deep down, I believe change is possible. Not just for others, but for me too. And maybe this decision, right now, is the start of finally becoming who I was always meant to be.
Alright, looks like one behind you. Not as good looking. Alright. That ain't what's up here. Christian. Oh, Christian.
Adam.
Adam.
Pleasure to meet you.
Well,
Where they at?
camera
In here?
over there. So you cut all this in.
Oh, but this was kind of cut in. This was a bakery and a bunch of other stuff with a well in it. They collect the sun in this glass room and pump it into this. This was the decontamination chamber right here, which was turned into an apartment prior to us getting it. We've just improved it. And then it runs into the second floor of a 3-story dome hut, cement dome. You can go in this way and see what the goats on the outside. We got bear spray.
I'm a bunch of bear.
Anybody got matches? Waterproof matches?
I got a ladder.
Any food? Any water?
I got cigarettes.
We got nothing. We got this.
That's all we need.
And some sunflower seeds, so we're ready. Walk along the road for about 2 miles. Stop, catch your breath. Thank God you're alive. How to kill a snake or what? How to protect yourself from snake or what?
Yeah, you said that when you find a rattlesnake,
You can have, if this situation was a rattlesnake, I've done it with all kinds of snakes
you've done this in real life.
in real life.
Okay.
You can get a rattlesnake as long as it's cool out. This was almost approaching winter, so they're very slow. You can get any snake by the tail and just start swinging it. You can do it with milk snakes, garter snakes, everything. I don't recommend it because there's no reason to kill snakes. But if you take any snake like that and start swinging it around till it's straight and then whip it like that, its head will come off. So, try it.
Don't try this at home. I am terrified of snakes too. If you're,
Well, it's not as big of a deal as you think. Because once you do it, you're like, oh wow, I just killed the snake for nothing. But if it's a dangerous snake, you may want to kill it.
Oh my word. This is fun with nature. Nature talk with Dean.
You know, an extreme version of him would be all stressed out, and like, I need my cell service, and carrying his laptop everywhere, and like setting up his lap like we're in a movie.
The goal is to tell the story well. There's really something amazing happening in that bunker every summer. And we want to capture that story well, so let's dedicate one of these guys to doing just that. And they get paid to just do that. So Kirk was the guy that was designated with that. We came out that year, me, Adam Abramowitz and Kirk Driscoll went out there. That year we used phones, cell phones, iPhones. You could buy an iPhone 7 or whatever for $200, and we bought like 3 or 4 of them, and we just captured it in 4K on iPhones, which actually comes out with really good footage. And Kirk was dedicated, and so I sat with Kirk to say, here's the way it is. It's the camera is not a machine gun, it's a sniper rifle. You're looking for the moments, you want to capture the moments, you're not trying to film everything all the time. He did a great job of documenting the summer, and because it was his primary purpose, that was his function. For me, the challenge is, I think in my head, I see what it can be. I know how freaking cool it is what's happening there. I know the internal changes that are happening in the men while they're there, and all of the men there, everyone, Dean included. That the challenge, I guess the frustrating thing is, it's like we never have quite come home with the footage that quite captures that quite gives you, the audience, the reality of what's happening there.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Inside the Mind's Eye. This is a podcast podcast platform where we explore the thoughts, ideas, and emotions of those who are pursuing a dream. Well, first let me say where I'm sitting. I'm sitting in a fallout shelter in Montana, in the hills of Montana, in the mountains of Montana. And it's essentially a bunker that was developed to prepare for the coming apocalypse.
From the former to the new age is the violet flame. So let's do it. The proof is in the pudding. I commend you to the great joy of this practice daily. Remember, when you say I am, you're saying God in me is. This is page 2, I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame, in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame, in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour.
So this is the beginning. So that guy took over a movement in the 30s. Mark Prophet, who was a traveling salesman, and then she took it over when he died.
Who's she?
Just an idea of the books that she wrote. This is a few. All these tapes and cassettes, hundreds and hundreds of them are her.
Wow.
All these pictures, the whole past. I mean, the church, it was giant. And she took it over from her husband, Mark. And then she became Keepers of the Flame. They got up to 150,000 members when you joined. You gave them everything. And that's how they built it. So if you wanted to come here from China, South Korea, anywhere, a lot of them South America, you give them all your ownership and you move here, and then they build a little house for you here. And by law, you had to have one bed underground in a bunker.
I am violet flame, and light alone I bow. I am violet flame, and action in me now. I am violet flame, and light alone I bow.
Then you got
Kale,
How do I stop the recording?
hey, what were you doing while we were hiking in Montana?
Dude, I don't know. I think I had to return some boats to the whitewater rafting place, and I went to the skate park, got a 5th of whiskey, and got drunk. I don't know. I beat myself up about it for a minute, but it feels like a decade ago now.
The foundation to the movie.
no. Okay. That's what it'll look like in the end, but the foundation is way down here. The set of steps will be behind that glass.
So here we go. This is a good picture. All right, so this is the entranceway.
That's where we are, coming in. You're gonna go down and then come up the set of steps, boop, you pop it right here. Checking. Just making sure all the masters have descended. We're up. Alright, one big slumber party. He's up. So I got him and those two grinding on the top, and the other three guys. I'll go out and make sure we get 7-foot piece of steel, and I'll put some wood over there. There's a big thing of long nails right downstairs, all ready if you need to nail together in a form to flatten out that lower area. So, and that will be the first piece of foundation for the addition. They can be throwing all that.
You're talking about down inside?
Yeah, no, right here, all that, this is full of stones. That area needs to be cleaned up. Next thing, after we get that done, we're gonna start pulling. We're gonna start pulling the floor so we can put that slide down to the basement. Start taking food, all that food and all the dirt out of there.
When? After we pour this concrete slab? Okay.
After we're done with that, finding that point, you take this and figure out what that angle is. We need to put a piece of steel here.
It's just
to
gonna be
measure that.
square off the building. Square as I can get off the building.
That's what I was saying.
Square
There's a
off the
90
door.
right off the square off,
the door.
and then do the same thing on the other side, and then find that center point.
What's the front? Show me where the front door is on this map.
The front door
Yeah.
is over here.
Where is it?
We're right here now. We're standing right there.
Okay. and
That's
so-
the front door of the bunker. Coming through the hallway. This is underground. But this dotted line shows that it's below this picture, this plane. And they're working on this new room here that's going to be added to the outside. And they're putting this wall up over here first.
I'm right now holding this. What would that need me to do? Oh, yes, sir. I got two hands.
What do you need me to do, boss? Get out, Cam. I got the weight. Up and down. Get it. Hang on. Barely on it. That's all right. You want to put something in between them? Let's go. You want that carpet?
Anybody else like to go besides for people with table?
It's step 3, not step 12, right? And so you made a discovery, you became willing, and then here's that. This is kind of like that action and confirmation of where your journey is. In my opinion, really, you got the willingness to get clean is one thing. Like, you can will yourself clean. You cannot will yourself to stay clean. God can, that for me, that's the foundation of me. This is where your journey begins, because where it's I don't have control over it. Right? I'm going to surrender it.
and I will procrastinate to the point of failure. And also realizing and accepting that my own ideas don't work and fail me.
Nice.
So that's where my self-will got me.
For me, like when I heard that the first time, I was like, man, like that's where I've been. All the stuff that I was struggling with was not truth. It was a belief that I was bringing to the table, but it was not a true belief.
Something that was non-authoritative, which is coming in like I always do, coming in through the back door, and less commitment. Let me just borrow my sponsors. Whatever got him sober, because he's a wingnut like me, then maybe that'll work for me.
To like keep in actions that make me be like, okay, this is much better than drinking or getting high, right? It has to be a continual thing of that, or else I get like sobriety sucks. I hate talking about it, and I want to go get high and do something different.
So his letter to Carl Jung?
And this is years later. Bill wrote a letter to Carl Jung saying, dude, I don't know if you realize what happened with Roland. Roland was one of the roots of this tree, the foundation of this thing that has taken hold of AA that's gone around the globe. And you were very integral in getting it going, and he was saying, thank you. Just wanted to write that back and let you know what happened to Roland. And surprisingly, Roland never went back to Jung, or not as far as I know, but I assume that the way that he writes about it. And Carl Jung talks of his memory of Roland. He goes, I couldn't come out and tell him you need a spiritual solution. Because in those days, in my world, if I talked about the spirit changing the way that your brain works, I would have been laughed off the face of the earth. So I couldn't bring it up. So I brought it up in other words to Roland. And I made it more of an outline of here's what I've seen happen to people with your situation. And then he gets into it and says, Roland's craving for alcohol was the equivalent, in all alcoholics, of a equivalent on a low level of a spiritual thirst of our being for wholeness, expressed in medieval language, quote, the union with God. So it's inherent under each living, vibrating, breathing thing on earth to commune with it. Here's Carl Jung talking about that before. So our hypersensitivity to it and our need for it leads us to go out and numb out to it because we can't find it. So we unnaturally look for things, or our minds do, so we don't feel that so much, that longing.
Montana Society!